Hello. So, what we are doing today is a pull list video. We are going to be doing these roughly once a month. And really, what it is just to show you guys what we pick up when we go to the comic book store. These are things more than likely we are not going to be reading for the podcast. This is kind of our comfort reads, what we're reading at home. I'll go first. This one's a little old, but it took a minute for the shop we go to get this. And I don't know if I've said this before on this channel, but Red Hood is one of my favorite superheroes ever. I guess anti-heroes, one of my favorite characters. I love his design. I love Jason Todd's story. I love that he's the only character in history that got killed by the fans and then brought back to life. So this is old, not super old, but it's a couple months. And basically this is Knightfight. It was part of DCKO, issue number 3, where Batman faces off with an older Jason Todd who has become basically Red Hood Batman. So pretty cool.
Interesting. So this one, and actually, I'm violating the rule a little bit, Raymond, because we did cover one of these issues, but this was at the beginning when we were kind of establishing what we wanted. But yeah. So Department of Truth by James Tynion IV out of Image Comics. He just picked an issue. I think it's like number 27 or something, or whatever it was. It was one of the later issues out of our local comic book shop, and I just liked the cover. And then when I started reading, I was like, God damn, this is a cool story. So I went back and I got all the issues that they had from one up to date. And so I'm putting in requests to fill in some of the issues that are missing. There's a handful of them. But yeah, I really like the concept of this story of a whole federal department that's like conspiracy theory central.
Yep.
And all the things
it's
all the things that the Alex Joneses of the world scream about. It's real. It's real.
It's a dope concept. It really is. It really is. All right, my next one is issue number 6 from the current Batman run by Matt Fraction. I know this is not the latest issue. My box is full, so I got to go there sometime this month. And whatever issue they're on now, maybe 7, 8, I'm not quite sure, 9. Yeah, I'll be picking that up. But I am reading the current Batman run. But with the podcast and live stuff, it has been a good minute before I've been able to really sit down and read some personal comics and not ones that are for this podcast. Make it worth it. Subscribe. All right.
Yeah.
What you got next?
Make it work. So this one, I'm in pursuit of finding missing issues. So this Crimson by Humberto Ramos out of Cliffhanger, which was an imprint from ultimately Image, but or Wildstorm rather. I have the omnibuses here, but there are a handful of one shots. There are a handful of like behind the scenes type of issues. So I'm asking the local shop if they can find some of those. These that I have right here, these I got back in high school. So this is like 20 years ago that I got. Basically, it's a story about this kid named Alex Elder. He's a high school student, and he ends up turning into a vampire. And he's like a one-of-one ultimate vampire that all these extra powers. He's mentored by this Grigori called Echimus, which was like a species before humans, like the first species, the human-like species on Earth. And he's going to fight the ultimate showdown with Adam's first wife, that she kind of rejected God and the creation, and she became the mother of vampires. And he goes through all these new characters where there's like angels.
Yeah.
There's other vampires, and I just love it. I want to find the missing links that I don't have.
So my next one, I was super excited when I picked this up a while back, and I still have not had time to read it. So I'm gonna guess that this mini series is over now. I'll find out when I go next time. But it is the Arcadia Batman, Green Arrow, and the Question comic. I think these 3 characters together are just dope. I would watch a TV show with these 3 characters in it. So yeah, I'm excited to read this and see what it's about.
So you haven't read that issue yet?
Nope.
I'm just asking you to speculate, Raymond, but what do you think the dynamic would be between Batman and the Question?
Oh, that's a good question. There's been tons of interactions. I'm just trying to think of how.
Yeah, because that one, it seems like they were purposely paired as a team.
I would say, and feel free to, disagree with me in the comments, but I would say that they're kind of the same person, but sort of 2 sides of the same coin, where Batman is a little bit more, I don't know if logical is the right word, but the question is definitely more like he's a good investigator, but he kind of comes off as crazy. You know what I'm saying? So where Batman might have a conclusion that seems more, straightforward, the question's gonna kind of make there's always more of a conspiracy with the question. Even if Batman and the question agreed on the same thing, how they got to that agreement or what it means, I think would be completely different. So I think there would be a good back and forth between them where Batman is like, really like logical, and then the question is like, no, 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 no. They're actually da 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 and doing all this and that. That would be my guess.
Wasn't it in the animated TV series Justice League? Like in one episode, Batman said, "Question is wound too tight."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yep. And that's a great way of saying it. Absolutely. Yeah.
okay. Well, that's all I had, Raymond. I told you I didn't have that many.
Okay. So this
Yeah.
is I'm kind of cheating with these ones too, because we are gonna read them, but I just got them, and I would imagine that a lot of you do not know what these are. So I just want to give them a shout out before we review them, but it's going to be a couple of weeks. Godlings, I'm not sure what it's about. I met the artist at Comic-Con and the writer, Aaron L. Humphres. It seemed pretty dope. So I'm excited to read it, and we're going to be reviewing it. I'm not sure if it'll be next week or in a couple of weeks, but we will at some point. So stay tuned for that one.
And he was the one. He's a writer and artist, right? All.
Correct.
Yeah, that's
Correct.
his whole baby.
The whole thing, and he was working on his series. He said technically he worked on it for like 6 years, but the overall concepts and things he was working on has been like a 30-year process. So the
Yeah.
next one, second to last one for me, is this one. We'll be reading this. I mentioned it in our last video, Zombie Cagefighter. This is an inspiration because if you Google it, Nate Rock Quarry used to be an ex-UFC fighter. And long story short, he took his experience. He loved comic books, and he took his experience, and he took, his cage knowledge, and thought to himself, what would it be like if I fought a zombie hand to hand? And so that was where this came from. So we're going to be reviewing this one as well. And I'm excited to read this one because I really thought Steve's story was pretty inspirational. So, and then lastly, this one by Manny Shape. I got the first 3 issues of this, El Crudo, and it is basically also at Comic-Con. And it's basically, I haven't read it, and this was from yesterday, so forgive me if I'm a little bit off, if somebody knows. But I believe that it's story of a gorilla who maybe through time travel or a wormhole or something, but he basically gets stuck in like 1980s wars, basically. And it definitely has that he's vibe to it for sure, which I think is pretty dope. So yeah, I'm excited to read this one too. We are also going to be reviewing this, probably just issue number 1. But I would say to any of you guys, if any of that sounded or looked cool, I would say check it out because I'm really excited to read these stories. I think for a lot of people, when we read and review it, that'll be their first time hearing about any of these. So
And even though, so you just picked that up yesterday, Raymond, right?
right.
So when you showed me, that was the first time I heard of that series. If it's in the 80s, if anyone here that listens to our videos are from Russia or they're Ronald Reagan fans, you may not like that Ronald Reagan fans. I expect not to. You don't have to. No, you don't have to necessarily live through it. I mean,
no, I'm
you
just
could be
meaning
like
anybody who has a strong opinion on Ronald Reagan.
yeah.
I feel like is well past the age of anything that they would be watching on YouTube. Unless you're, never mind. Let me not even get into that. But yeah,
I'll just say this: there's some people, Gen Z that
that's what
I
I was
like
gonna
Michael
get into.
Jordan.
Yeah,
You know,
that, yeah.
so
Absolutely.
but the people that would like Ronald Reagan that were never alive,
Right.
That's yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest with you, we have not read this. That was just a shot in the dark that there might be some Ronald Reagan slander because you can't have a story set in the 80s and not throw some shots at Reagan. Let's be honest. So, yeah, I'm excited for that one though. I am. I really am. All right. Cool. Well, we will see you guys next month with the exact same thing. I like these videos because what I was not anticipating when we said this was, and I don't know why I wasn't, was that we're going to be showing stuff that we're not going to be reading on our podcast. So it is a good kind of chance for the audience to kind of peek behind the curtain, kind of get to see what you and I like to read in our off time when we have the chance to. So It's pretty cool. And you guys
Yeah.
share in the comments what series you're reading. Again, I say this every time. If you have series recommendations for us, local artists, writers from your state or your city with stories, with comic books, let us know. We might not review it on the podcast, but we might use it in a pull list and just read it ourselves. So yeah, please share with us what you got. Like the video, share the video, comment on the video, tell us we're bald in the comments. On that, I look this way because, and I'll put a picture up.
Don't say what you ask them. Who do you think I look like?
Okay, fair. Put it in the comments when you see the picture somewhere, who you think I look like. I hope that you guys get it right. Okay. All right. You got anything else, Jacob?
No, I'm good.
All right, cool. All right. Thank you guys. We will see you next time.